It's
And
alive.
we're live. So, welcome everybody
Hello,
to the
hello.
discussion for Winds of Salem. We're going to see how much we both remember as we talk.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. So, first we'll go with how did we read the book? I did mostly audio.
I think I did a combined physical and audio book.
I think I did like audio and ebook, but I think I mostly stuck with the audio because I was working on my projects as I was reading it. But
Yeah.
let's see. Switch over to if I can get to the right screen share. We're talking about this book. This book.
This
Right
one,
here.
that one.
That's what. Hello, Lucinda. Technically, we started a little late. I just pushed it back because we had to get Alicia settled in. So
Yeah, it's my fault.
it's perfectly fine. But we were just talking before we went live about our ratings, but I gave it 4.5 stars.
I gave it 4 stars.
Hello, cool gamer. But yeah,
Hello.
I definitely think that uh, Lucinda read it as paperback. So I have like journals falling everywhere. Stay.
Oh no. Hi, Jessica.
Howdy. Was this? Where would you rank this of your favorite of the series? If you had to rank the series, which one? Like, where would this fall?
I think it would be my second. Because I like the first one the best, and then it would be this one, and then Serpent's Kiss.
Yeah, I honestly feel the same. Kind of felt like Serpent's Kiss was just more filler than
Definitely.
anything.
Mm-hmm. We could have probably done without, like, they could have combined parts of Serpent's Kiss into Witches of Eastwick or this one, and
Mhm.
then just not had an entire book. So this could have probably been a duology.
Yeah, which makes me interested in seeing how like the spin-off YA series is going to be.
Mm.
So that may be a in the future thing. But I think I definitely agree with it being a lot of it being filler for Serpent's Kiss, but definitely I felt like the summary at the beginning of the book it definitely helped if you didn't read the second book. It's like if you just skipped over Serpent's Kiss, the summary at the beginning of this one really helped kind of fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
But it also kind of felt more of like the summary that you get at the beginning of TV shows. It's like previously on kind of
That's
thing.
exactly what it felt like, too. It was like, this sounds like a TV show.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. What was a favorite aspect of the book?
Time travel.
Mm,
That's a good, solid way to get around historical aspects.
yeah, I like that, and seeing Ingrid's relationship with Matt kind of grow a little bit more, and her bonding with his daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those two really flourished in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Ingrid had her doubts because the ex-girlfriend or ex-wife or
Yeah,
whoever was there. But in
yeah.
the end, it worked out.
Mm. It's like it tried to lead down kind of like the miscommunication trope a little bit, but then
Mm-hmm.
veered right back, which I appreciate it not going down like
The rabbit
so
hole.
far down that road and it avoided it really quick because sometimes I just get frustrated with that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Least favorite part about the book? For me, I think it would just be really honestly Freddie. The whole thing with Freddie and Gert, their relationship.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for that. And I
That
felt like,
almost, like, if they hadn't done it in Serpent's Kiss, they could have left it out of this one.
yeah, I just think it also kind of moved really quickly. It's like I know that they had to get married because of the thing that with her dad, but
Yeah.
they just kind of like got on together a little too quickly, for my opinion,
Hmm.
to make it like really believable. And then Freddie going off and gallivanting. He's like that, the whole that stretch of time of Friends when they were on a break kind of thing. That's just what it reminded me of.
Yeah. And that was like it. They were. It was like they were married, but when they were on the break, she wasn't reaching out to him at all, and then he was just kind of doing his own thing, and I was just like, well, this sounds like y'all could have just stayed friends and not gotten married
Yeah.
if it weren't for the contract.
Mhm.
Because it I don't know, you could have done without it.
Yeah.
It didn't really play a big role in the grand scheme of the entire story.
Yeah. And I like that what was like the fairies or the imps or whatever that
The
they are were
fairies,
with
yeah.
him, and they kind of like treated them like kids, their kids or something. I like that part.
Mhm.
But it's just their whole relationship just felt off to me. And I did find it a bit strange at the beginning of like the first time travel bit when you see Freya in the past and she just had like no clue what had happened. That to me was kind of
Yeah.
confusing. So
Yeah, that it was almost like she knew she had gone back in time, but she didn't know that she was herself in a sense.
yeah,
But and to find out that like she was the one that kind of started the whole hysteria, I was just like, "Wait, what?"
yeah, and it's just her being more interested in it, and then confiding in like her friend about doing certain things, and her friend Mercy, and I just wanted to smack her.
Oh, yeah. She was she was something else.
But
I
I,
almost wonder if Mercy like was her friend, but at the same time was not like a spy for the town or something, because she wasn't
yeah,
like she was there, but she was very quick to just go, "Oh, you did it."
you did something you weren't supposed to. I'm gonna go tell on you.
Exactly.
But yeah, I definitely feel that. But in this book, also kind of after like the first half of it, kind of seemed more like it should have been like a companion novel. Like if
I could
she
see it.
had kind of did like a companion novel of like how things were for them during that time, that like that part it would have been made more sense, or kind of adding in Joanna and Ingrid into it, just kind of like telling them like their story as kind of like here's what happened in that time and why it's relevant kind of thing. You just kind of get small tidbits.
Yeah.
Are they getting paid for it or traded or something? Possibly. From what I can remember, I think they were being influenced to a degree by um, Freya's like boss, because he was trying to like I think get like what get more land to become like a more important person in the town or something like that.
Yeah, that was when she went back in time to Salem. And it was the whole, I guess she would have been passed on because of the whole dowry thing and getting married. And she thought it was for the one boy, but it turned out to be for his uncle or something.
Yeah, and his uncle just kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies, especially
Yeah.
when you're first like introduced to him. I'm like, ew.
Yeah, he was very much a let's not talk to you. Let's go over there.
And for a while, with the whole time travel aspect, it really veered from like the bridge being the focus for me. It's
Hmm.
just more about trying to get Freya back and save her so she's not hung than it is about trying to like get access to the bridge. And set for like the last what quarter of the book, that's when they really start kind of like gearing up and doing something about that.
Yeah, that seemed to like it seemed to like just be drawn out, and then it was quickly like they'd done something, and it was almost like the parents, the father and Joanna,
Mm-hmm.
they had the same idea. They were like, "Well, I'll just sacrifice myself for Freya, and then she'll be fine." And I was like, "Well, hold on now,
Yeah. It's
that's a
like,
little
does
too
this?
much."
Yeah, it's like, does this have to happen? I feel
Right?
like it could have been like done a different way, or there'd
Yeah.
be like an epic battle between Joanna and her sister, like fight from the daughter kind of thing. But I don't know. I wanted to see more like interaction between her and her sister, though. It just I don't even really remember us actually meeting. What is it, Hilda?
Yeah. I think there was like a brief, like she said something to her, and then in one of the first two books, but that was it. It's not like you really had like an in depth,
Hmm.
hi, how are you type conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you can't have this mortal.
Mm,
I think if we would have seen a little bit more of that, maybe it would have been interesting, but I'm thinking about the three books, and you really don't have room to showcase her.
yeah.
So I guess that's why we don't see her.
She's like a side character
Hmm.
almost.
We have like the A characters and then the B characters, and she would have been a C character.
Hmm. If if that, it seems like.
Yeah.
How well do you think the author built the world in the book? I
I
think at the
mean,
like in the first book she did pretty good, but then it kind of didn't get fleshed out enough for me, anyways, throughout the
as
series.
as the series went on, yeah, that's kind of how I feel because it's she did really well in the first one, and I really liked that one. But I think as the books went on, it was less about their environment, more about what they were doing. By
Hmm.
the time you get to this one, then it's oh, we've got to save Freya before she's
Yeah,
harmed.
it kind of seems like the series had a thing of an editor going wild kind of thing. Like if she was able to
Mm,
a maybe like keep a lot more information into the book, we may have gotten something in it. But it's like the editor liked certain aspects more and decided to keep in like the not so important parts and then cut
yeah,
out the rest of it.
yeah. I mean, you get a sense for like the Puritan times and stuff like that, but I feel like it still could have been fleshed out more.
Hmm. And same thing with it being in like the present time too, because you it's like I like seeing the like baby shower and stuff for Ingrid's coworker and like
Mm-hmm.
Hudson's wedding and stuff like that. It's like I wanted a little bit more information about that time. It just kind of was just thrown in as an afterthought.
Yeah, some of those did. It's like they wanted to do the dual perspective so they could show that some of the characters were still trying to find a way to bring Freya back, but at the same time, we're more focused on Freya and what she's doing.
Mm-hmm. Which is like, it seemed like the only person who wasn't really focused on Freya that much was Freddie, which is, you would think with him being her twin, he would be like really wanting to get her back. But
I
he
would
was
think
more
she'd
wrapped
be
up in his own
all about
drama.
it. We need to do this.
Yeah. He was just more like, oh, I'll take her place at the bar and that I'll throw in my hat into that ring until somebody else kind of does it, and then he like fights that
Found
like
a
what's
mistress.
yeah he'll and then he goes off to fight. No,
What?
and he goes off and fight what that like snake dragon thing. Forgot the
Oh,
name.
yeah.
It's like I would have liked a little bit more of that, and I felt bad for it because it was like all by itself for like how like centuries and stuff. And he's like, I just want you to solve my riddle.
Yeah.
Somebody give him a treat or something.
Right. I wish they would have. I don't know. There's so many different ways that you could like do this story differently and still have a similar outcome, I think. Because there's so many ways that we could have seen things differently, or we could have at least seen like them going through, trial and error of trying to figure out what would work to get Freya. But here, I think we just see a lot of, like you said, Freddie was kind of taking over at the bar and hanging out with that mom of, was it 2 children or whatever?
Yeah.
And then Joanna was kind of doing her own thing. Ingrid is kind of doing her own thing with Matt, but at the same time, like, it's like they slowly gathered the pieces to save Freya.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like Joanna and it's like the dad's name Henry or something. Can't
Maybe.
remember now. But it's like they were
Carol.
seeming to do more of the legwork to try to get her back.
Yeah.
Because you don't really see them doing much other than doing like research and trying to like kind of narrow down their options. Yeah, Ingrid did a few things like research at the library of what she was able to find, but then she was more wrapped up with the whole drama between like being the like stepmom almost.
Yeah. Spending time with the kid, but then seeing Matt with his ex and going
Mm-hmm.
down that rabbit hole. And it almost seems like, in a sense, that it was like they have their own lives and they're like, oh, yeah, Freya. Oh, we have our own lives. Oh, yeah, Freya.
Yeah.
And I wish
Yeah.
they really would have stuck to, we have to save Freya, or just go, oh, well.
Yeah. It I think that was what like really brought it down to like a half star for me. It was because of that. And I think the pacing a little bit too was like it started off like at a gallop and then it slowed
Yeah.
down, went off again and then slowed down. It's like, can you like pick a medium speed, please? And if I felt like if it was a little bit longer, we could have gotten it a lot more fleshed out and a lot more
Yes.
information into it. So I feel like the whole, as a series as a whole, if the second book wasn't so much filler stuff and or the filler stuff was fleshed out a little bit more like, plot wise, and like the whole series was maybe like a chunkier trilogy, it would have worked out a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's like I can see how it was turned into a TV show because of like the interpretation that the showrunners can take with it. They can add their own stuff into it, so I can see this being more, like, suited towards the TV show.
Yeah.
What the heck are you doing?
I'm not about my own damn business.
Just trying to be a race car in there. It's like, what the heck is he doing?
He's playing race car shit, so.
I just hear you in the background making your noises.
Bing!
Hello.
She says hello.
What's up, girl?
No more neck brace.
What?
She said she's got no more neck brace.
I'm so excited about that.
Stiff neck anymore.
Well, she still kind of does a little bit. She's
Yeah,
gotta
I
be
gotta-
careful about how she moves.
Hey,
Yeah.
what happens if the dude takes a Viagra to get stuck in his throat? It's a stiff neck.
Oh. Starting them dad jokes early.
Oh, I've got a million of them.
Apparently, Philip just started laughing. Let's see.
I will say, bringing back in the story, it did feel stiff at times.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I don't know, it at different parts it didn't seem like it flowed. Like it just seemed like they had all these pieces and then they just went like this. I'm just like, but they don't just go
Yeah.
together.
I feel like if they could have had I know when we talked about this with Clint in the last live show, if they had majority, I think that whole concept of like Freddy coming back in like the later half of the first book, making it longer, because these books are a lot shorter than like you would think they would be, considering like the way that it was just the pacing and stuff it like moved really quickly, and with it being as short as it is, it's like I want more, please.
Yeah. I think like we keep saying, if it was flushed out more, they would have been bigger. Because I think each of these books were like less than 330 pages.
Yeah, and I agree, Lucinda. And I kind of think if the stuff that happens in book 2 was put in the end of book 1, and then the whole time travel bit was kind of like its own separate book, maybe, where that was more fleshed out, and you get like kind of like some flashes to the future of them like doing their research and stuff, trying to find her and help her, instead of like having the like day-to-day stuff, and then maybe having another separate book where they really put Loki to bed, kind of thing.
I think that would have
Then
worked out better.
Yeah.
And then there was the whole I felt like they just kind of threw this in too, because at some point, I think when she was in Puritan times, she found her boyfriend. Freya found her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name.
Killian. Yeah.
So I was just like, well, you just kind of like threw a pebble in the story there. Like, I wish we could have seen more of his side, because he was taken by the Valkyries, and I guess they just shoved him back into Puritan times. But how was he able to figure out and recognize Freya?
Yeah, same, Lucinda. I still don't quite understand how her memory got wiped either, or how that was supposed to really play.
I wonder if that's just
I wonder if Killian looked the same as the guy that she was like starting to fall for or not?
That's what I'm trying to figure out too. There's a lot of different variables with this story, and I have more questions than answers.
Yeah. Which, like, now, like, really thinking about it, part of me kind of wonders if it will just be like just a plain 4-star for me instead of a 4.5. It's like more talking about it, the more it's like there's more plot holes than anything. It's like I enjoyed my time reading it. That's why it got the rating it did, because I was picking it up more compared to the other books that I've been reading when I was reading it at the time. You swear to God. Be gone.
There was one little hair that looked that far.
Be gone, demon. Be gone, demon.
I think if they had flushed it out some more, if they would have been able to answer the questions that we are having now, and like you said, maybe change it so that book 2 was the time travel section, and then this book was the we get rid of Loki once and for all. That was kind of like the final battle type thing. Then yeah, I think it would have worked out better, because then we would be able to see like a streamline or a timeline of how all of this happened.
Yeah, and kind of flesh out, like make it more linked to how the lore in this book is, and how it compares to, like, or it combines into the lore of the Blue Bloods, with them being like the fallen angels type of thing. Like kind of wrapping it a little bit more seamlessly together, or seamlessly, I should say.
Yeah, I think it would have worked out better if they had done that.
But do you plan on reading the YA books?
I have the first one, so probably. Beyond that, I don't know. It'll depend on what that book does.
I think Clint is supposed to be sending me his trilogy and the YA ones, since he left the second one. So I'll probably read it to give it a try. If it stays in my collection is another thing. So, yeah. But considering how, like, Blue Bloods is a YA series, and this series is supposed to be like her adult series, I'm hopeful that her YA series will be pretty, like, well written, since I already enjoy her YA writing.
Yeah.
I think you'll like them too, Lucinda. Yeah, it may be a thing that you'll may read the books sometime in the future, like have a little bit of space in between, because we already have the rest of the year planned out book-wise. So I'm interested in possibly reading it in the future for the book club. So we'll see if that could be a thing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
How long is the first book?
$354 pages, but so, the font is like huge.
Oh, huge. So it's about average size for her books.
Yeah, I mean, it's about the same length as the ones that we're talking about here.
Actually, Lucinda should be scheduled in September. The beginning of September is, I think, when I have the next announcement video ready to go. I'm double checking. I think it's the 1st of September is when I have that video scheduled.
Oh yeah, because we already have the book for September, don't we?
Yeah, which is now I'm blinking on it. I have it written down.
I know it has a purple cover with cards on it.
These witches don't burn or something
Yes.
like that.
That one. I have it on it's on hold, but it's like paused, so whenever it's ready, then I'll go get it
Yeah.
done.
I need to do that myself, but let's see. Where'd it go? Yeah, September 1st is when it's scheduled for the picks for October to December. But tomorrow, though, I do have an announcement video coming out for the next round of Witchathon.
Is this going to be a full Witchathon or a smaller one?
It's going to be another smaller one. It's going to be a 24-hour round for Maybon. So,
how many books can you read in 24 hours? Maybe.
So, and I am debating if I want to do sprints, like 24-hour sprints for that one or not. Because when it falls, Maybon is on the 23rd of September.
Right.
Yeah, it's on a weekend this time. The reason why that the 48-hour one was during the week is because I had it on actual llamas, so. But yeah, it is on a Saturday.
I've got the kitty today.
It was the 48-hour one would be just more picking up things that you wanted to get to but hadn't yet. So, yeah, baby. So I was taking it pretty easy for that round as well. It was more just enjoying what I was reading and reading all the graphic novels that I normally do.
That was Isis.
But yeah, I have.
Do we have any other thoughts?
Yeah, I don't have very many thoughts other than what we already covered. Just I wish there was more information.
I almost wonder if they take out the Norse mythology aspect of it and just did pure witches and maybe the time travel, how that would play into this storyline.
Yeah, that is an interesting thought. I that was what kind of threw me off in the first book, is when it was brought to light that it was like based on Norse mythology, because of the way that Blue Bloods was written. Like there was it was like a whole lore thing in itself. Yeah, and I agree. That's one thing we didn't mention is the end with Joanna and yeah, the whole thing with Odin was strange, and I thought it was sweet that they sacrificed themselves for their kids and that they did it together. I liked that. It's just the whole like Odin being a dick kind of thing. It was.
But it also seems like the parents sacrificed themselves without talking to each other. So it was like the father was like, I'm going to sacrifice myself. I'll volunteer as tribute. And then the mom was like, I'll volunteer as tribute. And I was like, what? Why do you both have to do it?
It's like a convoluted Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, and I get he had the whole like wherever you go, I go thing, but at the same time, like it didn't seem like they had talked about them sacrificing themselves together.
Yeah, and the fact that it was like what Freya and Freddie that they were sacrificing themselves for, because Freddie ended up getting himself like killed when he was trying to get his trident or something like that, or trying to get something from that snake thing.
Maybe.
Well, I'm thinking of it.
I mean, it's entirely possible because they say write what you know, and this was her way of working through it.
Yeah. But yeah, I just thought it was sweet, and then them going to like their gravestones, or like what did they put their ashes in the water or something like that, or that's how they were found, was they were in the water, like their bodies were in the water and in the mortal realm.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
All I know is that they were like, we're going to sacrifice ourselves. And then they were on the, like, in the office area of the underworld or whatever. Because they were like, oh, we're decorating because we're waiting for Freya. And so Freya was supposed to be the one showing up, not
them.
the
Yeah.
family. Yeah. So I was
Yeah,
just
it was-
like, what? I
yeah,
missed
they did drown themselves, or that's like with the people in the mortal realms. That's the story that they went with, that they drowned together.
I missed
So-
that part then. They just
Kind
went
of
up and over.
But yeah, that was that book. We did change August's book because of not being able to get a hold of the one that was previously picked for some reason. But Practical Magic by Nikki Vandekar. Going to be discussing this. I have yet to start rereading it yet, but I am happy to go over all my like highlighted notes that I have in this thing, and the artwork in this is stunning.
I was looking through some of it and I was like, ooh.
I am happy to go over that again. Probably will be not the first weekend of September, possibly the second. Like, I'm thinking the 9th, if that's good with you, Alicia.
Okay. That's not when we're having the other book club, are we?
No, I think Katie said something about
The week after.
the 16th. Because we had the discussion about whether or not me and Jordan were going to do something for our anniversary that weekend or not.
Oh, that's right.
So I think that's when she asked about doing the 16th. And you may have, Lucinda. Honestly, my memory is not the greatest thing when it comes to like what books have been sent my way when, but you may have. Yeah. Yeah, September 9th, we'll plan for the Practical Magic live show.
Send me that in a message so I don't forget.
Let me pull that up now while I'm thinking of it so I don't forget.
Do you want to say hi, Isis?
Issa baby.
She's our oldest one. She's 13.
Ooh.
I know. You hold still. You got fur in your paw.
Yeah, me and Harry were having a good lay in bed as I had read my book and napped. He just curled up with me the entire like couple of hours that I was in bed just reading.
My cats have been doing that lately. Oh, it feels so weird to be able to reach behind me. All of the things I can do now. I know. But if I like twist a certain way, then my body's like, no. And I'm like, no.
Do that, lady.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. We'll end the live show here. Meet back here at September 9th at 3 o'clock for the Practical Magic. I will be, even if you don't read the book, like Lucinda, I know you said something about dipping out on this one, but we'll probably just go over some few things. So if you're interested, you're more than welcome to hang out and chat, because there is quite a few things in here that's really good for just like basic beginner stuff. So I highly recommend it. It's a favorite of mine. But yeah, we will see you guys next time. Bye.